Hey guys, and welcome to my Pokemon Black Nuzlock challenge. The rules of a Nuzlock are pretty simple, which you catch the first Pokemon each route, and you name it something ridiculous like Pancake. If the Pokemon faints, it is gone forever. There are no items in battle, and there's no leveling up over the gym leader's strongest Pokemon. If I white out, that's game over. Do I have what it takes to beat Pokemon Black? Let's find out! Alrighty guys, welcome back to episode 5 of my Pokemon Black Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge. So I've had some technical difficulties. When I recorded this episode, none of my voice came through. That's why you're not seeing my little VTuber avatar in the background. So the second issue I was having was I recently bought new RAM for my computer, and for some reason the RAM was not compatible with my old RAM, so I tried to put both of them in there and it just kept crashing like every 30 seconds. So anyways, let's jump right to it. Yeah, so I just defeated Bianca. I'm going on to the next route, and my route for this encounter is a Sandile, which I think is actually pretty great, because like the thing is with the gym leader, not the gym leaders, the Elite Four members of the Unova region, is that Sandile is actually a pretty solid like pick, because it has the dark type, so it has that psychic immunity, and one of the Elite Four trainers is a psychic type Elite Four. We also have a dark type, which will be resisted to that, and then a ghost type, which will be super effective to that. So like Sandile is actually a really good solid pick. I think I also would have also preferred Scraggy, because like the fighting type is good for the dark type, but you know, having a resistance, Scraggy having a dual resistance against dark type is, I would prefer that. But still, solid pick, solid encounter, and I believe I named it Sally here. I'm not sure why, I'm just naming it random things, but yeah, really solid like encounter to get. I just gotta make sure I keep it alive. I noticed the Sharon fight, and I did a little cut right about now. So you'll see me go straight into that battle, so you don't have to watch me heal or anything crazy like that. So, and my strategy is that I sent out, Blitzel first, I think? Yeah, Blitzel. We'll see when I throw it out. But because he kept going with Oshawott first, right? So it was like, okay, let's see if I can predict the Oshawott and go into and lead with Blitzel, right? So I lead with Blitzel, and then he sends out a P-Dove, and I'm like, I don't really like that. I don't like this P-Dove. I decided to switch, and I switch over to my Roggenrola. Mostly because like it's gonna be resistant to any attacks that it throws at me. So if it goes a flying type, a normal type, I'm resistant. It went for a Leer instead, so lowering my defense is not a big deal, because like the Roggenrola is just only going to be here to hit it with rock type moves anyway, so it's still super effective against it. So gonna use that I don't remember what it's called. Rock Blast. I kept calling it Rock Tomb in my brain. Rock Blast, because it's a multi-hit move. It's guaranteed to hit twice. And if it doesn't hit him, kill in the second turn, like it could keep going and snowballing from there. So basically the Roggenrola baits out the Duat, because it sees a super effective move against it, and decided to stay in, because my Roggenrola has Sturdy. So Sturdy is that if it KOs, I live on 1 HP. And I'm like, I want to do as much damage to this Duat as possible. So I'm going to Rock Tomb it, Rock Blast it. Because like I just want to do as much damage to it before I switch, right? And I don't think it knows Pursuit, because like that would be the only reason why I wouldn't do this strategy, is if he had that Pursuit, and I don't want to fall for Pursuit traps. So that's what I decided to do, and then that's what you're seeing right now, is me trying to get as much damage as possible. Hits the average of 3, and I'm like, alright, time to switch. Oh, totally forgot about the Sandstorm too, so. And I bait out Citrus Berry. So like it was really a win-win situation for that, and Roggenrola will live to see another day, right? So I'll switch back into my electric type, go for a Penny, go for that super effective stab with the electric type, and then that way the Duat is just like done for, right? I was surprised it didn't go for Razor Shell. I'm surprised it went for Furry Cutter. Furry Cutter can be pretty dangerous because of the fact that it is a bug type move that the more you use it consistently, the more power it gets. So I was really shocked with that. And then I noticed that with the Sandstorm, I outspeeded. So that's the nice thing about like hazardous weathers like Sandstorm, like Hail. When you're going to get buffeted by that weather, you can see who's going to win that speed challenge. So I knew Penny was going to outspeed, Penny was going to kill the Duat, and then the Sandstorm ended up killing the Duat. He goes into Panseer, which I don't really have the best way to answer for fire types right now. I'm actually like having some pretty strong weaknesses throughout. But I decided to go for the Shockwave. I'm like, you know, neutral damage is going to do a lot more. I don't want to risk losing the Sandile. And then I see that it uses Yawn. I was like, okay, here's the thing. Sandstorm's going to buff it, right? It's going to get into kill range with my Shockwave. Blitzel has done its course in this battle. So I'm going to let it kill with the Shockwave. And then I'm going to switch with whatever next Pokemon he comes out, right? So that's what I decided to do. And you'll see that Shockwave coming through as turns of the Sandseer Pink. Because I don't have a good fire type answer. And I don't want to lose Sandile too early. So that's what's going on here, and that's what you'll see here. And then it sends out his final Pokemon. Penny goes to sleep. Penny's done for the battle. Sends out the Leopard, and I'm like, well, crud. It's gonna know Pursuit. Will Pursuit kill me? I don't think so. And that's what I kind of took a bank on, that like a Pursuit won't kill me. And it doesn't, thank goodness. But if it critted, I would have lost Blitzel. So hindsight, I should have switched at the Yawn, so I wouldn't have to switch on the Leopard, but I didn't know he had a Leopard. So whatever the Leopard's gonna throw at me, I'm not scared. Twizzler's gonna take care of it, gonna arm thrust it. It went for Pursuit. It's not gonna do any damage, even though that's probably the best move it can use. I think it knows Assist, but I don't think the AI uses Assist. But, you know, AI does weird AI things, so outspeeding doesn't matter. I've got plenty of health, and that's pretty much the battle with Sharon. A very well thought out plan, which is something that you want to strive for when you're doing your own Nuzlocks, is trying to make sure you're planning it out. I didn't plan it out because I am trying to do this game kind of partially blind based off of memory, and, you know, that's what I chose to do. You can look up the battle. You can look up what Pokemon he has and be able to, like, decipher of what he has and what he doesn't have. So, and I encourage you to do that. But anyways, that's kind of just what I decided to do. Anyways, the professor and Sharon, well, the professor called me and Sharon and I were talking to her about meeting her up in the next city. But first, obviously, like, I want to go heal, so you'll just see me, like, cut straight to me talking to this dude about the Desert Resort, which, I believe means new encounter, right? So I want to go find this new encounter, and I don't know where it is, because I've only played this game once, and I'm trying to figure it out. But as you can see, like, I also want to dodge all the trainers. So when you're doing your own Nuzlocke, like, battling random trainers could be like a difference between life and death, right? So you want to dodge as many trainers as you can, especially if you are doing a Nuzlocke that is like a Nuzlocke randomizer, because a lot of the early on dragon types know Dragon Rage, and Dragon Rage is a busted move, which does 40 points of your HP. So I finally decided to look at my Sandile, and my Sandile is the best freaking Sandile that there is. Let me tell you why. First off, Adamant Nature. So Adamant Nature, natures are like super important because they give you buffs based off of the stats. So Adamant Nature buffs your attack by 10% and lowers your special attack by 10%. Sandile is a physical attacker, like, especially when it evolves. And it has Moxie. Moxie means if I knock out an enemy Pokemon, I get a free attack buff. This thing is probably the best encounter that I have gotten, and I definitely don't want to lose it. So I'm gonna fight like hell to keep this thing alive. So that was the best encounter that I could have gotten. And if I bump into a random trainer battle, going back to what I was just saying, I could lose it, right? And I don't want to lose my precious Sandile. So, but that's exactly why, like, dodging trainer battles is so important. You don't want to accidentally lose your precious Pokemon. Anyways, back to what I'm currently doing. I'm still trying to find my next encounter, which should be the Desert Resort. And I am realizing that I'm struggling from running away from Pokemon. So, you guys probably don't know this. I didn't know this for the longest time. If you do, congratulations, you are a genius. But your ability to run away from wild Pokemon is based off of your Pokemon's base speed stat. Not modified by like agility or anything like that, just its base speed. Roggenrola is as slow as snails. Like, it's just slow. It's built to be a tank, to take hits, that's why it has sturdy, like it is not built to run, to be speedy. It can hit hard, but it's gonna be slow. And it's just not the best lead to have when you're trying to run away from Pokemon. Because even wild Pokemon could ruin your Pokemon's life. Because if you're not careful and not strategic about running from them, or seeing that they could kill you, like if facing something that you're weak against and you're already weak, like a wild Pokemon can kill one of your Pokemon. So that's why it's very crucial when you are going through your Nuzlocke that you're also paying attention to your lead and who your lead is, and if you have repels. I actually don't have any repels because I just don't like buying them, to be honest. I like saving my money for other things. And will that probably bite me in the ass? I don't know, maybe. We'll find out. But it's I feel like it's a long shot that they could definitely do something like that, but you want to think about something like that when it comes to it. Anyways, I pretty much wise up, and after that Scraggy and realizing that whole speed stat thing that I just explained, I needed to have a different lead, so I went ahead and put Leopard in front. So the reason why I chose Leopard, because Leopard actually has a really unique move called Fake Out. So what Fake Out does is that when it first enters the battlefield, it can use it as a priority move. So a Pokemon like Roggenrola that has Sturdy, I use Fake Out, I do some chip damage. It's not going to do a whole lot, but it no longer activates Sturdy, right? Because it's not a one-hit KO. So that's like the main reason why I put Leopard in front, is that whatever I decide to face, it's going to really affect and alter like the choice of that battle. Another reason why I put Leopard in front, very rare occasions the AI will do switch mechanics, very rare. It has to literally not be able to see, you know, a kill on you or any opportunity. So like if I'm going against like a Kadabra that literally only knows psychic moves, it'll switch because it can't attack me, right? Like the AI should be able to recognize it. I can pursuit trap it myself. So I have a good multiple amounts of reasons as to why I want to lead with Leopard, and why I think having Leopard in front is going to be like super beneficial, because of those two reasons. The pursuit most likely won't happen. Like the AI rarely switches, and it has to have like very specific terms in order to be able to do that, and those terms are very rarely met, and the AI is also very different. And I'm just going based off of like what I'm trying to remember. I would actually have to like look it up to see like how the AI will react. But that's all based off of that theory. I decided to jump to the point where I bump into that random trainer battle that I accidentally ran into. Like, mentioning how crucial it is that we don't run into these things, right? So as you can see, he's got a rock and roll, and that's what he leads off with, and I obviously have my leopard. I'm under the assumption that this dude has sturdy. I want to make sure that sturdy is broken, so I'm going to kick the battle off with fake out. The other thing I forgot to mention with fake out is that fake out always flinches. It has priority, but you can only use it on when you enter the battlefield, and that's the only time you can use it. Priority, flinches, easy going, right? I decided to go ahead and use assist. So assist is a unique move that Leopard has, so it's considered like a status move, I believe. And basically it's going to use a move that one of your team member has. So I'm kind of hoping it was going to go for arm thrust, because that's what Pig Knight has. It went for rock blast, which isn't bad because it's neutral damage. And it did a decent amount, you know, that was good. And now I could do multiple things. I decided to switch out Whisker and go for Charlie, get that intimidate off, lowering that attack, because I want to like a safer switch in for like my Pig Knight, because or like just having neutral damage with like crunch or bite, because that's what Charlie has. Charlie has crunch, right? And dark is a very neutral attack, and crunch is very strong, especially for a physical type attacker like the Herdier, right? So I go for crunch, the Roggenrola dies, and then it's preparing to switch out for its next Pokemon. The issue is it's a fighting type. I am weak to fighting on all boards. I have a normal type, weak to fighting. I have a dark type, weak to fighting. I have a rock type, weak to fighting. And I have a dark ground type, which is also weak to fighting. So I have this very bad weakness that I am seeing with this Timber. So the Pokemon I want to get out is going to have to be Pig Knight. Pig Knight is going to be the best Pokemon that there is. So, but I can't switch in Roggenrola, because the idea behind Roggenrola was to be able to take a hit using Sturdy. I don't have Sturdy. I don't have Intimidate because Herdier is out. Herdier would, Intimidate would be the other way to go. So I'm looking at all my defense stats, trying to see who has the better of the defenses. I see that, you know, Herdier has the better of the defenses out of everybody. So, like, who would be the better switch in? Who can I switch in? And that's basically what I'm trying to figure out, because switching is going to be the only way to survive this Timber. This is why we don't do random trainer battle, guys. You're going to get stuck with a fighting type, and every single one of your Pokemon's weak to it. I decided to just make the hard switch to Twizzler anyway. I was like, okay, it's not going to kill. Pig Knight has the better defenses out of everyone. So that's why I switched to Pig Knight, and I was like, this is going to be the better option. I have determined that I outspeed, because Sandstorm determined that for me. And then I was like, you know what? Let's make sure I outspeed whatever's next. Let's go for Flame Charge. So I went for Flame Charge. I nearly one-shot it. It's probably going to go for the same move of Low Kick, and I should be in the clear. The thing is Pig Knight's not going to be able to handle whatever comes out after this. So I have to switch Pig Knight out. And then the thing goes for Bite. I'm glad it didn't go for Bite earlier, because that would have been really scary to deal with that and losing a Pokemon that way. You can losing a Pokemon from Bite, Counter, Mirror Coat is just an unfortunate way to lose somebody like that. It's like, I did that damage and you're just giving me all that damage back. So I decided to take a risk. It's like, oh, Arm Thrust is gonna hit twice and gonna kill it. And it hits twice and doesn't kill. So that was scary. I could have lost my Pig Knight here, because if that Rock Blast connected, I was done for. And thankfully it missed. Remember how I mentioned that rock types have like really bad accuracy moves? They do. But it was like, I could have just lost my Pokemon there. And then you can see that I'm going to the summary to make sure that Arm Thrust has 100% accuracy. And that's pretty much just random trainer battle. I got lucky. I'm not even gonna lie. I got lucky. I could have lost my Pig Knight here, and I didn't. And it was by a dumb mistake and I lucked out by it missing. So, don't do random trainer battles. That is all I could tell you. I decided to skip over to where I finally found the desert resort that I was searching for this entire time, and pause because, like, I'm pretty sure that's a double battle, right? And assuming since it's a double battle, I want to make sure I have the best lead. So Leopard with Fake Out makes a lot of sense. You know what also makes a lot of sense? Charlie with the Intimidate, right? So want to make sure that I have like the good double battle, and it turns out it wasn't. So like I did all that somewhat prep for no reason. And I was like, okay, time for the encounter, and I found a Dwebble. So here's the thing about Dwebble is that I don't remember if this game has a Shell Smash. Before I say smell, I've been calling it smell the entire time, and I don't know why. When I know it's Shell, and I know it's Smash, and I keep saying smell smash. Anyways, if it has Shell Smash, this thing is a pretty busted Pokemon. With a white herb, to help get rid of the lower defenses, this thing gets +2 in every stat otherwise, you know? And if it's a good solid Pokemon to have, as terms of, like, it could be a sweeper. So, Dwebble, like, the only other issue that I have, it's another rock type. It's another thing weak to water. I have so many Pokemon that are weak to water, and this just adds on to that weak point. But I'm not gonna lose an encounter because I need them, frankly. Like, I need all of the encounters that I can get. At least with the Blitzel, I do have a counter for water types when they do come across, but I do have three Pokemon now that are now weak to water. I just need to really find an answer for fighting types. That's what I really need to do, and I hope I get one soon, maybe after the next gym leader, because I think I have to fight the electric gym leader next. Before I can go on the next encounter, but I can't remember for the life of me. So, but I switched Leopard out because I didn't want Leopard accidentally dying to a crit. Like, even like these encounters, like they can be a hassle because like you could potentially lose a Pokemon, and that's just something that you don't want to happen ever. So you want to make sure you're being prepared for that. I'm pretty sure I just catch him in the first Pokeball and call it a day. So. And I do. And I believe I named her Donna because recently, right now, my boyfriend and I are watching Suits, and Donna's one of the characters, and Dwebble starts with a D, and therefore Donna, right? But yeah, that's my next encounter as a Dwebble. Not a bad encounter, it's just another weakness to water. So I decided not to go up because didn't know what else there could be. But I was kind of hoping that I would get, obviously, Scraggy. Scraggy I still think would be a really good one to have, but, you know, we'll take what we can get, so. Anyways, I fast forward over to me making it to the next city, and then, of course, Team Plasma is here, and, like, when is Team Plasma not here, you know? And they're harassing this guy, something about a daycare, something about, like, taking all the Pokemon from the daycare, and, wants them to hand it over, and he's just like, hey, you're a trainer. Why don't you help me? I haven't healed my Pokemon since the last encounter, so we'll see how I do against, I'm assuming 2 back-to-back Team Plasma fights, because that's what they typically are. And, guarantee I would have went back to heal my Pokemon if I knew this fight was here, so, it leads off with a Watchdog, and obviously I still have my Leopard in the front. Half health, mind you. So, again, Fake Out, but uses Detect. And that's annoying, because it's annoying. Now I can't use Fake Out, you know? But I decided to stay in with Leopard, because I was like, maybe I can use Assist, I can get Arm Thrust. I did it, and it got smacked down. And it did a decent amount for not it being stabbed. And then, for some reason, it decided to go for Crunch. I thought that was a really weird move for the AI to use. So I decided to switch out, and was like, well, if it has Pursuit, I'm a Dark type, it's not going to do much damage. because I don't know what has to proceed and what doesn't. And it was like, and if it goes to crunch again, which it did, then I'm in a safer spot because it's not very effective. And, you know, I put in my fighting type. I was like, it's probably going to go for detect, and like, sure enough, it did. There's literally no point of like clicking a move otherwise. Maybe I could have worked up. That would have been probably a better smart if I, you know, since I basically knew that it was happening. And but I decided not to. Decided like, what if it decides to attack me again? Maybe I can kill it faster instead of baiting out the protects and the heals. That's the other thing with these battles, is like making sure that you're predicting when the AI is going to heal, because that could be like a time to set up and everything when you're doing your hardcore Nuzlock. So it throws in a Trubbish, and if I believe Trubbish is just a pure poison type, it might be poison dark, but I can't remember at the top of my head for sure what its typing is. But, you know, I figured neutral, stab, fire type attacks were going to be the safest things to go, and plus I could outspeed it and keep going my speed. So I was like, alright, one plasma grunt down, and I'm like, prepare to do another one, you know, because that's typically how these things goes, pairs. But they run away to the amusement park. That's where they decided to go. So I decided to follow them, and guess who I run to? None other than N himself. And he wants me to follow him. Well, I'm like, okay. As the 13-year-old girl that I am in this video game, I decided to go follow this really weird, strange man with green hair. Takes me over to a Ferris wheel, and he's like, hey, these people are not here, and let's go find them on the Ferris wheel. Let's go ride this thing together. And I think this is where, like, I had as a kid, I had, like, this tiny little stupid crush on, and he's like, first of all, I must tell you, I'm the king of Team Plasma. He's cocky, right? Like, he's just like, I'm the king, deal with it, right? And then he's like, Gitos asked me to work with him to save Poké, and I'm like, bruh, he's using you. Like, no, he wants to take over the world. And he's like, talking about Pokemon, how much exists in the world, da-da-da-da. And then you're like, okay, he's just a weird dude. Forces you to battle him, and, you know, what happens after the battle is the part that, like, you're like, oh, hello there. How you doing? You know? Anyways, you'll see what I mean after we beat him. But he wants to battle you first, obviously, so you humor him and do so, right? I mean, look at his character. He's just so gorgeous. Anyways. So, he leads off with Sandile. I lead off with my Leopard. And I'm like, fake out, right? Fake out's the name of the game. That's why we're leading Leopard. Like, not a bad idea to, like, do as much damage as possible to this Sandile. So, after that, I'm like, assist. Assist is going to be the best move, because what if I get, arm thrust, right? So that's what I'm trying to hope for, and, you know, I get work up. I'm like, cool. That's what I wanted. I wanted to boost my attack. Yes, thank you. I mean, to be fair, like, work up probably has a higher probability, because both, Pignite and Herdier both have work up. So it decided to go for Embargo, which really didn't do anything, because I think Embargo works if you share moves, and we don't share moves. So go for it again. I get a dark type move in Insurance, which did a lot of damage because of that workup and because of stab, right? And then it goes for Sand Tube. Fun fact about Sand Tube and Fire Spin and Whirlpool, when you're in that, you can't switch your Pokemon out until it either expires or the user dies. In this case, the user dies, so no big deal, right? So, and then here we go again with my blaring fighting type weakness. The best Pokemon for this job is going to be Pignite. Dark type, fighting type. Dark types are weak to fighting types. However, it goes for Swagger. Swagger is like a blessing and a curse. A blessing because it boosts my attack stat. A curse because I'm now confused. Confused has a 25% chance of hitting yourself with it. With a boosted attack stat, it does more damage to yourself. So rather than risking, you know, hitting myself, switching is going to be the better and safer option for my Pignite. However, who am I going to switch into? I have two options. I have Rock and Roller with Sturdy, but then I see that it's just going to cause the issue again, right? Or I have Herdier with Intimidate. Those are my best choices. I decided to go with the Intimidate option because I know Charlie will live from it unless it crits. That's the only way Charlie will die, is if it crits. So it goes for a Brick Break. I'm hoping for no crit, and it doesn't crit me. So the next option is to switch again. Now it's probably gonna go for Swagger. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, and went for Brick Break. But the thing is, the AI kind of sees the kill. So me switching in my Roggenrola was pretty not great. So I decided that I'm just gonna switch into Pignite. Was like, you're just gonna keep hitting me with Brick Breaks. I'm not gonna humor you anymore. And it's like, if it goes for Swagger again, I switch it again. And that's exactly what it does. Let's go for Swagger. So I decided to go back into the Intimidate Mon, right? Because that's gonna be the safer option. It's gonna go for Brick Break most likely. Switch into my Intimidate Mon, lower the attack again. As long as I don't crit, Charlie will live. The thing is, it's like typically when you Nuzlock though, you want to play around your crits. And I am not. I am playing to survive this fight. And I'm trying to not lose a Pokemon. The chances of critting are pretty low, so I decided to take my chances on that and make sure I don't get crit. Get another Intimidate off, because that's just going to increase my chances for survival. And sure enough, goes for the Brick Break. Doesn't crit, thank goodness. It shouldn't have Pursuit, it's too early for that. I switched straight into Pignite because it sees a kill, it's gonna go for an attacking move, and with 2 Intimidates, the Brick Break's not gonna do much to Twizzler. So I finally got the Pokemon I want out to fight this Scraggy and go with Arm Thrust. But as you can see, the fighting type weakness is just very obvious that it's there, and I'm hoping that we get an encounter soon that can help alleviate that issue. But until then, we're just gonna have to keep doing this whole Intimidate swapping thing, because that's the only thing I can do. Can't really do anything else other than lowering the attacker's attack. And that's the thing, that's my way out. That's my only way to win, is by doing that. So here's the next Pokemon it decides to throw at me. It throws me off of this Psychic and Flying type, which I can't pronounce and I'm not going to bother trying. It's going for a Psychic type move, so I have 2 Dark type in the back. I'm going to send out Leopard. Leopard makes the most sense because it has the Fake Out. And then if it decides to switch, I can Pursue it. So it just makes a heck of a lot of sense to go this route for the Leopard. So get the flinch off, I go for the Pursuit, hoping it'll switch. But the thing is, the AR is only going to switch when there's nothing else it can do. It can do something, and it uses Tailwind. So Tailwind's an interesting move because it boosts your speed on your allies to be much faster. So now this Pokemon now outspeeds me, and whatever it comes out is going to outspeed me as well. So I have to now play around that tailwind and making sure that my Pokemon survive with whatever comes next. Now it sends out the Darumaka. I believe it's the last Pokemon that it has. Luckily it's just a fire type, and then I can switch in to either my Twizzler, which is probably what I decide to do, because if it throws a fire type move, it's not going to be very effective, and I have a neutral type attack. I don't have an answer for fire types, but the nice thing about fire types right now for me is that I have resistances to fire types, and that sometimes is more than what you need for to survive a battle, is having those resistances. I get a huge crit, which helped me get this thing down to red health. I hit it 5 times, the tailwind is out, I now outspeed it, and I just hit one more arm thrust, and that should be the match. And I was right, I outspeed it. See, playing around those things makes a huge difference into your battles. So there goes the end fight, and that's pretty much the last battle of this episode, and then you'll see why I thought as a kid that Ed would kiss you at this part, because he just walks up to you and your hats touch and you're just like, homie, don't get too close to me. And then they show this beautiful character design in the game, and then, like, you know, childhood me was like, oh my god, he's so handsome. I'm an adult now, so whatever. I don't need you. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys will subscribe and stay tuned for next time. We're gonna hit that gym leader. We're gonna take her down and hopefully not get lost in the city, because I got lost while doing the playthrough. So anyways, see y'all next time, and enjoy. Please subscribe.